Welcome to the Sandpiper annotation tool. In this video, we're going to cover everything you need to get started in creating your own annotations with our tool. This video is divided into several chapters, and you're welcome to skip ahead as you like. The first chapter, we're going to input our data into the tool or use the Million Tutor Moves dataset. In the second chapter, we're going to get into drafting our prompts, seeing how we verify our prompts, and even looking into prompt versioning. The third chapter, we're going to start annotating our data by creating a run or a run set. Our annotations leverage self-verification and adjudication, which improves the quality of those annotations significantly. Finally, we'll look into evaluation so you can compare runs against each other. Let's jump into Sandpiper. Once you've logged in through GitHub, you'll see a home screen just like this. We'll want to start a project to get started. I'm going to name my project Beginner Project, and I will select my team. Once I do that, I'm going to create project. To begin our project, we're going to upload files, or we're going to use the MTM dataset. If you want to upload your own files, make sure to view the help document so you follow our formatting. If you follow the formatting correctly, you can upload one file which contains many different sessions of tutoring all in one go, and it will automatically convert into our tool. Otherwise, you can also choose to use our MTM dataset native to the tool. In this case, that's what I'm going to choose. And this is a dataset that we've created in partnership with our tutoring providers, that's CCBY, and open for us all to use. If I click that, it's going to automatically load 46 sessions in this case into the tool. I'm going to click the Sessions tab, and here I can select one of my sessions to see what's inside. In this case, I see a tutoring transcript between a teacher and a student. Awesome. So now that we've effectively uploaded data into the tool, our next step is to create a prompt. I'm going to go over to the left-hand panel and select Prompt. I'm going to create a new prompt in this case. When we create a prompt, we have the opportunity to choose a per utterance prompt or a per session prompt. Per utterance will look at every single line in a transcript. It's great for looking for specific tutoring moves. Per session, on the other hand, allows you to analyze a whole session together. For instance, in a per session prompt, you might ask the LLM to tell the average level of student engagement during a whole session. In our case, we're going to use per utterance. I'm going to select my team and get started. Now I'm going to copy and paste a prompt that I've already written over in here. And if I go up to the top, you'll see this prompt is looking for 6 or 7 different types of learning supports to be labeled in the data as it goes along. When we write our prompts, one of the things we want to pay particular attention to is our schema. And when we create our schema, we also want to pay really close attention to our capitalization. In this case, our prompt is instructing our schema to looking for learning supports, and it's telling the LLM that there's a few different learning support moves. Our schema is set up down below the prompt. You'll notice that our schema already has reasoning set up, so we'll already automatically get reasoning that the LLM makes for its choices. In our case, in order to match our prompt, we're going to create one new field, and we're going to paste in learning support. Now the LLM knows to choose one of these learning supports, and that is a string as a type of variable. Once that's all set up, we can go to the top right and select Save Prompt Version. Our tool automatically checks for prompt and schema alignment. All right, now you'll see that our prompt and schema are aligned. I'll save this version. Then I'll go back to projects and I'll find my beginner project. Now that we have our prompt set up, we can move into annotating our data. When we annotate our data, we have the choice between setting up a run or a run set. A run is when we use one prompt and then one LLM to annotate the data. A run set is when we use several prompts and or several different LLMs to annotate the data. In our case, the setup is very similar between them, but I will show you the more complicated version of run sets to get started. So I'm going to select run sets, create run set, and I'll call this NTO trial run. Now, the annotation type that I want to do is per utterance, like the prompt that I had selected. Then I'm going to go find my prompt. All right, the prompt is called NTO Moves, and if I want, I can just check it out over here. Cool. Once I've done that, I can add the prompt by clicking here. Then I can select several different models to annotate it against. In our case, I'll use Gemini. add that model. And I'll also use ChatGPT, and I'll also use Claude Opus. If I go to the bottom here, you'll see that I've got all three of those set up. Finally, we can choose whether or not we want to turn on self-verification. Verification has each LLM check its own work, which improves our annotations significantly. I'm going to turn that on. Finally, I can select which sessions I'd like to use. In our case, since we had 46 sessions, I don't want to choose that many, so I'm going to use our randomizer button and select 7 different sessions. Awesome. Now at the bottom, you'll see that I'm creating a run across 7 different sessions. I'll create run set and get started. Okay, now that all of our runs are finished, I can go and click in and check and see how they went. If I click in there, I can select a specific session. And as I do that, I can see the transcript. In our case, I can jump to our first annotation. It looks like there were 162 different teacher moves that were noticed in this transcript. Now, what's really cool is I can jump from annotation to annotation in the tool. And if I'd like, I can turn on and see the difference where self-verification changed things. So this shows how annotations were improved over time using self-verification. And in this reasoning box, you'll get the reasoning for why it improved its selection. As a researcher, I also have the opportunity to check and validate whether or not I agree with the LLM. In this case, I can give it a thumbs up, and then I can choose my reasoning. Now we can view all of our annotations inside the tool, or we can go back to our project and export this as a CSV or a JSON. If I go back to my run set, I can in fact export all of these as CSV or JSON files. Now, finally, if I wanted to compare our different runs against each other, I would choose our new evaluations feature. So if I select evaluations, I can create an evaluation. I'm going to name our evaluation trial run comparison. In this case, if I choose the Claude run, it'll automatically choose the other 2 runs because they are the same sessions with the same prompt data. Then I can select my annotation schema field, in this case, the learning support field, to compare. Finally, I will select create evaluation. Now the tool will automatically tell me the top performers in evaluations in Cohen's kappa, create a pairwise agreement matrix, and even give pair details about how they performed. This can be done with several different prompts and several different LLMs as well. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. We hope you really enjoy using Sandpiper. If you do ever have any questions, you can feel free to use our help and support tool where you can ask questions, look over the documentation, report a bug, or even request to meet us, and we're happy to help you learn how to use this tool. Happy researching!